I'm aware of it. I'm a professional chef.
You obviously seem quite upset about it.
But then I went to the Amazon rainforest and there's like nothing else to eat there apart from fish and chicken.
Just done the 3 minute challenge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your emotions coming off the back?
Well, it's confirmed to me that I do the right
Confused.
thing.
Right. Okay. Already vegan, right? Cool.
Confused.
You're confused. Okay, interesting. We'll come back to confusion and
I'm aware of it. I'm a professional chef.
yes.
So, obviously sustainable farming, no cruelty to animals. I mean, things have changed in recent years, but still haven't changed good enough.
Okay. Right. So we've got some really interesting points to just have a quick chat about. First of all, when it comes to confusion, what was the confusion?
How could you do that to an animal?
I agree. That's not confusing for me. I completely agree. I think we shouldn't be doing that to animals. What do you think?
Think what?
Do you think we should be doing that to animals? I agree. What about yourself?
I still can't believe this is happening in the UK.
Yeah.
I really am shocked.
So all the footage that you see is the best of the best, which is RSPCA certified. It's also Red Tractor certified. It is the best of the best standard, and that's worldwide standard. That's not just UK. That's very standard across the globe. So by showing people the best and they're saying, how do you feel about that? We get a true emotion. You obviously seem quite upset about it.
Yeah, it's quite horrific.
It is horrific.
Yeah.
Let me give you a question, okay? By the way, I'm having a nice chat. I'm not trying to catch you out. I wasn't born vegan, right? So I had these questions too and these conversations. Let's say, I can give you the most fictional scenario. You can create this whole scenario yourself. What would be the best way to take the life of someone who doesn't want to die?
Just don't take their life.
There's no best way.
There's no best way.
I feel quite emotional with you saying that because you've hit it on the head. There is no right way to do the wrong thing.
No, absolutely
We
not.
shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Do you think that for them, their life is just as important to them as our lives are to us?
Oh, absolutely.
Why do you think what justifies taking away the whole existence for a taste pleasure?
Greediness. And people are not educated and aware what's actually on their plate.
So that's
And how it's actually gone from, point A to point B and then on the plate in the house.
yeah. So that's what happens. But the justification for it is there is no justification, right?
That's true, yeah.
So at the moment, I know you're vegan, and where did you guys stand on things? Where are you?
I was vegetarian for 2.5 years, but then I went to the Amazon rainforest and there's like nothing else to eat there apart from fish and chicken. So then I stopped.
Okay. What about now?
I eat meat.
Did you carry on from when you came back from the Amazon rainforest? You continue to eat meat afterwards?
Because I was having problems, like I kept feeling fainty.
Okay.
Because in Colombia they didn't have as much stuff as they do here. Because here they have corn, they have loads of different things, but there they had nothing.
So there's loads of different scenarios all over the world. For example, an Eskimo. I can't say to an Eskimo, you need to grow crops and live off of crops because it's going to be they can't do that, right?
Impossible.
But for us, we can make the decision not to do it, right?
Yeah.
The same as in a survival situation, people may do all sorts of things. In survival situations, people may kill and eat other people. And you can almost justify it by saying, I had to survive. If we were on a desert island, that's my morals wouldn't be that. I'd just live out my rest of my days with a friend. But some people could justify it, right? But when we have options, when we have Tesco, Sainsbury's, Aldi, Lidl, all the supermarkets, we're in somewhere like Bournemouth, we don't really have the justification to exploit and murder animals, do we?
No.
Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
But I think the world is changing.
The world is changing.
And especially in the UK and Europe.
Why do you think the world's changing?
I think people are a bit more aware of it, health conscious. If you have a look, I mean, we don't have milk in where we live. It's almost oat milk.
I think you're right, because people are becoming more educated. I think it's because mainstream media used to keep people controlled and conditioned because people didn't know the truth. People were told you had to do this, and they were never shown what happened to have that on the end of their products.
Yeah.
So now social media is able to expose what actually happens behind closed doors. We have brave activists that go in, they put cameras in these places, they expose what happens to these innocent animals, and then people can be educated and then make an educated decision. Do I want to support that, or do I want to boycott that?
Sure.
And I think that's why we're seeing a lot more change, which will lead to systemic change. But the reason why we're going to achieve systemic change is the same as any other injustice, and that's by people taking personal accountability, because that's where it starts.
Yeah, I agree with you totally.
We can't wait for everyone else to do it before we do it. And we can't wait for perfection before we're willing to do the right thing. We have to take personal accountability and make a personal change, because it's supply and demand, right? And when you create a different demand, then you can create a different supply, and we can stop animals being exploited.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any questions or have you got any pushbacks? Have you got
No,
any
I saw the one footage there, which was a goose being force-fed foie gras,
foie gras?
which obviously
Yes.
is not in the UK because
No.
it doesn't happen in the UK.
That's right. That's right.
And there's a lot of top restaurants, hotels now that refuse to serve foie gras and all this cruelty. So people are becoming more conscious in the kitchens as well.
Why do you think it's interesting, isn't it? Because people will see something like foie gras and they'll be really against it, and they'll say that's horrific, that's bad exploitation, and we can't justify it. But then we look at the dairy industry and we look at raping mother cows, stealing their babies, killing their babies if they're male, killing like female cows when their milk production slows down. And we seem to be okay with it. Why do you think that is?
Supply and demand.
But it's like even supply and demand with foie gras, right? But we'll look at foie gras and we'll say that's wrong. We'll look at the dairy industry and we'll say, oh, that's okay.
But foie gras is in the same category as veal. It's for it's mainly the elite who actually eat that sort of stuff.
But again, veal, that's the product of the dairy industry, baby calves.
Baby calves, yeah. Before it's been weaned, then it goes to the slaughterhouse.
So what I'm coming to is the way that, and rightly so, we're against foie gras, but we should also be against eggs. We should also be against dairy. We should also be against pigs and chickens in gas chambers. We should also be against sheep being exploited for wool, animals' skin being used for fashion, animals' bodies being used for tested on. All of these things are horrific abominations and they shouldn't be happening.
No, I agree with you.
And the way we stop it is by taking personal accountability. And what lifestyle would you say aligns with taking that personal accountability?
Repeat that again.
What lifestyle sounds like it aligns with taking that personal accountability?
I mean, we predominantly eat vegetarian food anyway.
so,
Very seldom we eat meat. Maybe once a week we have fish, but we don't actually predominantly eat red meat.
so the lifestyle that aligns with what we've been describing is vegan. Okay, I'll explain why. Because vegetarians still pay for animal abuse, exploitation, and murder. Because a vegetarian will still have eggs, they'll still have dairy,
Cheese.
yogurts.
Yeah.
You know, now the good news is you can still have cheese, you can still have yogurts, butter. Just get the vegan one.
Yeah.
No one gets hurt.
Yeah.
Just get the vegan one. So, when it comes to reducing, so you said we very rarely do it. Let's take another injustice, okay? Let's take, I don't know, child abuse. Let's say that I abuse children 5 days a week, and I say, I'm just going to do it once a week. Is that better or worse than just saying I shouldn't be doing this?
It's just as bad.
100%.
That's it.
This is why reducing doesn't work.
Yeah.
We can't say that I'm going to oppress a smaller amount of victims. We just say I have to stop oppressing victims. We can't say that I can do it in a nicer way. The consensus is that if we're against animal exploitation, murder, we should just stop.
Yeah.
The lifestyle that leads into that is veganism.
Is
What
animal
would-
testing also like that? Like, do they also keep them in those conditions?
Animal testing is really horrific. So vivisection, they do all sorts of horrible things. So for example, there's a company called MBR, which is in Cambridgeshire, and they breed beagle puppies, 2,000 beagle puppies a year. The reason why they breed beagle puppies is because they're very compliant and they can be trained to show their paw, even though that they're in pain and suffering. They do things called toxicity testing on them. So they'll put like bleach down their throats until they die. They put them still with the smoke hoods for smoking. They'll put weed killers and things like that, and poisons in their eyes.
Not illegal.
It's not illegal.
Why?
I agree. I can't answer why it's not illegal because I believe it should be illegal.
Can't they use it on humans instead?
Well-
If humans are going to be using the products, then why don't they do it on humans?
It's a really valid point because, I think it's something like 95% of animal testing can't cross over to humans anyway because we're a different species altogether. But what we have got now is computer modeling and stem cell research, which is faster, it's cheaper, and nobody gets hurt, and it's a lot more accurate. But do you know why they keep testing on animals?
Because they're easier to get.
Because it makes money. Because animals aren't seen as someone, they're seen as a commodity to make a profit off the back of. All these tests have been done over and over and over again. All these tests have been done over and over and over again. And the reason why they continue to do them is because it makes money. Do you know how we can stop it?
Become
Bye.
vegan.
Become vegan. I love that. I love that. That's right. And that's the answer. We become vegan because a vegan wouldn't buy something that was tested on animals. And when all these things stop and we stop contributing towards them, then the supply and demand changes. And living a vegan lifestyle is so much easier than what you think. And do you know, everybody who I've seen that's gone vegan or spoke to that's gone vegan, they got one regret. Do you know what their regret is?
Sooner.
Should have done it sooner. It's the only thing anyone ever says.
Yeah, but if you go to certain countries, it's not easy. Like if you're from a country that doesn't have that and you want to visit your family, what are you gonna do?
So if you, okay, I'll give you a scenario, okay? Let's put you in that scenario and they put a dog on the table and in that country they ate dogs. Would you eat that dog?
If that's the only thing to eat,
It's not the only thing there is to eat.
okay, then no. I wouldn't
Exactly.
eat a dog then.
Because in all these countries, there's rice, there's beans, there's vegetables, there's legumes, there's lentils. There's always a different option. Granted, if you're in the North Pole, you may be in a survival situation, right? But out of 99.9 recurring % of the positions you're going to be in your life, there'll be fruit and vegetables and an alternative to live on.
Sure. Great.
Have you got any questions for me?
No, that's it.
What do you think you guys are going to do from here on out? Are you going to take that personal accountability like we spoke about?
We'll obviously have a chat this evening when we have a meal in our hotel.
That's really good. And you come to the conclusion. I know you've got there. You know, you didn't push back on any of my points, and we had a good conversation about it. I'm going to give you some resources to look at.
Yeah.
And I just want you to remember that the whole time for you it's a journey or it's a goal to aspire to be. Animals will go into slaughterhouses for you. And if you don't feel comfortable about that, the vegan is the baseline. It's not something we should aspire to be. It's the baseline. It's like a non-action. We just don't contribute towards them animals going in to be exploited. And then be a voice. Be a voice for them. Come and stand up and speak for them. They need every one of us.
What if one person
Thank you so
becomes
much.
vegan, the animals are still gonna get killed?
So because there's supply and demand industries, what will happen is the demand will drop. So all the animals that are in slaughterhouses today, you're right, they're going to be killed. We can't stop them today. But by creating a vegan world and we create more vegans and less animal oppressors, then less animals will be demanded to go into slaughterhouses. When the demand drops, the supply will inevitably die out because we don't need it anymore. It doesn't make money. And because you're vegan and you're going to buy, let's say, a vegan sausage roll or a vegan burger or a vegan pizza, then the demand for vegan options is going to increase. And because that then increases, that's where the money is. So then these companies, for example, Burger King, if you go into Burger King and you buy the vegan burger from Burger King, and that's all that Burger King sells is the vegan burger, what are they going to sell? Just vegan burgers. Because you've created a different demand and therefore you can affect the supply. So when you look at that and it makes you sad and it makes you unhappy, this is brilliant because it's the biggest injustice that you have control over.
Okay.
Yeah? You got some really good questions. On that card, there's something on there called The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear by a guy called Gary Yourofsky.
Yeah.
And I really would recommend a family watch of that
Yeah.
because it's absolutely brilliant and it will answer so many more questions and it will help you to come to that conclusion quicker.
Really? Okay, great. Thank
Brilliant.
you very much.
Thank you so much.
Christmas.
And have a good Christmas. Thank you so much. Well done. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.